Hello and welcome to the Aunty Lisa show. Again, what should we do a story about today? Let's find out. Okay. Aunty Lisa, Aleksander and Kristoffer. It's almost like an engineer, that one. Jack. And, a ghost called Moonlanding. I'm trying to remember what we... Is there much about a ghost called Moonlanding? Anyway, right. Ghost called Moonlanding. Lovely. What? An Ankylosaurus. And there's nothing else in that one. So I am going to put in... I haven't got a pen. A Spinosaurus. Because I understand young Kristoffer is quite keen on the Spinosauruses. Hang on. I'm going to get a pen and write it down so I can't forget. Oh, there it is. Right. Spinosaurus. Sorted. And they like swimming, right? Maybe. I don't know. Yeah. I know they've got big spines. Right. This one. A plane. And a slide. And last but not least, be something good. The jungle. Right. Okay. One day, Aunty Lisa, Kristoffer and Aleksander were invited on a trip to the jungle with their good friend Jack, because he has friends who were living in the jungle who said that they had seen a particularly spooky ghost and he needed some help to bust that ghost. Who else would he call but Aunty Lisa, Kristoffer and Aleksander? You'd be crazy not to call them. So they packed themselves a lot of kit in some bags. Things like mosquito nets are very important in the jungle, and lots of things for making fires, and a tent each. Maybe one big tent. That's cozier. Ooh, no, not tents. Let's have hammocks. Yes, hammocks. So, they all got in a plane together. That is always step one. Usually step one for going to the jungle. You could get there by walking and taking a boat, but it would take a lot longer. So, Jack agreed with Fuego that Fuego would come too, and he would fly the plane to the jungle to check out what this spooky ghost was. So, they all got in the plane with Fuego. He is a crazy flying pilot, but at least he's better at flying than we discovered recently that Aunty Lisa is. So, Fuego said, "Okay, everybody, who's ready to go to the jungle?" And everyone went, "Yay!" So, they all put in all their bags and they climbed aboard Fuego's stunt plane. Not usually one for long distance, but today was the day they were going to try it out. So, in the plane, they went up and up and up and up and up into the air, and they flew and they flew and they flew and they flew and they flew. And you know what? Fuego's stunt plane does not have films to watch while you fly. It was actually quite boring after a while. But eventually they landed in a clearing in the jungle in the Amazon rainforest, which is somewhere that Aunty Lisa has always wanted to go, largely because she really would like to see all the cool birds and meet a sloth. And just all of it, really. Oh, and those Amazon River dolphins too, because they're really cool. Anyway, so they landed in a clearing in the jungle, and Jack waved to his friends. Hello! And his friends were called, they were called Jacob and Marley. Seems like unusual names for people who live in the jungle, but they've been living out there since 1995, when they'd gone on a special expedition and decided that they never wanted to come back because it was so awesome living in the jungle. And they were like, hey, you guys, you made it! Hooray! Oh, we should give you a quick tour of the jungle before we do anything else. And so they went on a quick trek through the jungle and saw loads of cool animals. And then they explained about all the spooky goings-on that have been happening in the jungle. And they said, well, it's been really strange just recently. And Aleksander and Kristoffer said, what's been going on? We love a ghost story. And so Jacob and Marley explained what had been going on. They sat around the fire and they told them this story. And they said, right, here's what happened. We were sat right where we are right now, looking at the fire, when all of a sudden we saw loads of spooky lights in the sky. And they go crazy lights in the sky. And we looked up and gone, whoa, that's crazy. What could it be? And then something had appeared out of the gloomy sky mists. And it had gone, whoa! And we got really scared. And everyone went, that was quite a short story, but see your point. What do you think it was? And they said, well, we think it's a ghost, which is why we've asked our friend Jack to come and investigate. And everyone said, yeah, that makes sense that you'd think it was a ghost. What kind of ghost, though, is really what we meant. And they said, well, it didn't really look like a person, but it did look a bit like a person. And Aleksander said, what do you mean? It did look a bit like a person, but it didn't look like a person. I'm not sure you're making lots of sense, Jacob. And Jacob said, well, it had really big eyes, like way bigger than your eyes. And Marty said, yeah, and it looked like it had some things sticking out of its head. And then Jacob said, yeah, and I'm not convinced it didn't have more legs than we have. And Aleksander went, well, it was a ghost, so, okay. Let's set up watch tonight and see if we can spot this spooky ghost. All right, everybody? So, they all decided that the best thing to do would be to drink loads of coffee and stay up all night. Probably, now you're thinking about it, not the best strategy, but that's what they decided to do. So everyone drank loads of coffee, including Aleksander and Kristoffer, which was a terrible idea because they both went crazy like this. They were just hyper. It wasn't good. Aunty Lisa regretted letting them have the coffee. Anyway, they were awake though. You know, so it's kind of win-win. Win-lose. Yeah, it was fine. Anyway, so they sat round the fire and they put on their ghost detector goggles and they kept watch. Not a lot happened. They kept watch and they kept watch and they kept watch. At one point, they saw a moth fly by that they thought could be a ghost, but it turned out it was a moth. That was disappointing. Another time, Aleksander got so bored, he decided to roast some more marshmallows, and he ate so many he felt a bit sick. And then Kristoffer thought it would be a good idea to see how many crisps he could fit in his mouth at once. It turned out it was 6, but again, not super helpful with the ghost hunting. And it was just coming to the end of the night. Everyone was like, I'm so tired and bored. Where are these ghosts? And Jack said, we just want to see some ghosts. When all of a sudden, lights are flashing. And then out of the gloomy sky came, and everyone went, ah! It's a ghost! It's a ghost! It's a ghost! Poo, 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 poo. But then it was gone. And they went, no! It scared it off before we could catch it. And then the lights came back. And behind them, they heard a voice. And it went, whoa! I am Moonlanding! Be afraid! Whoa! And everyone went, Moonlanding? That's a funny name for a ghost. And the ghost went, no, it's not. And they went, yes, it is. It's a really funny name for a ghost. And the ghost said, whoa, I am from the moon. You see? But I'm a ghost. And they went, I don't think you're all that scary anymore, Moonlanding. And Moonlanding went, oh, but I don't. Okay. And Moonlanding the ghost stopped trying to be scary. And it turned out that Moonlanding the ghost was actually the ghost of an alien from the moon. And that's why he'd given himself the name Moonlanding the ghost. Wow. Aleksander and Kristoffer said, hey, are you actually a nice ghost or a not nice ghost? Because we need to know, because then we can either zap you or not zap you. Because you see El Fuego here. And El Fuego said, hello. He's our friend, but he's a ghost. So not all ghosts are mean. And Moonlanding said, oh, I wanted to be a mean ghost, but it turns out I'm a friendly ghost. I was just trying to scare you away because I really wanted this spot all for myself. I've been haunting it here for weeks now, ever since my spaceship crashed and I got smashed to smithereens and turned into a ghost. And everyone said, oh, that's a sad story. Well, maybe we can all be friends. And they said, yeah, that would be awesome. And El Fuego said, hey, Moonlanding, why don't you join our crew? And Moonlanding said, really? Me? I could join the crew? And he said, yeah. And they said, okay. So Moonlanding came and sat with them around the campfire. And by this point, it was actually starting to get a little bit light. And then Moonlanding went, oh no! Something terrible is coming our way. I've been trying to scare people away from this patch because it's so scary. And they went, what? What's terrible that's coming our way? And he went, no time, gotta run. Moonlanding the ghost was gone. And everyone went, what could be so terrible? It's coming this way. I mean, you've been here ages, right? They said to Jacob and Marley. And Jacob and Marley went, oh, we've been here ages and we haven't noticed anything terrible. What on earth could he mean? But then they were going to find out. Because suddenly, out of nowhere, or it felt like out of nowhere, through the jungle, there came a crash, 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 smash, bashing noise. And everyone went, oh, God, it's too early for that smash, crash, bash, smashing noise. What on earth is that? Aunty Lisa went, ooh, maybe it's a sloth in a bad mood. And everyone went, that's not a sloth in a bad mood, Aunty Lisa. Sloths move very slowly, as you well know. She said, oh, fine, it's not a sloth in a bad mood. Just want to see a sloth. Anyway, suddenly there appeared 5 Ankylosauruses. What? 5 Ankylosauruses came stomping through the camp, and they bashed and they smashed everything to smithereens. And Aleksander and Kristoffer went, ah! And Aunty Lisa went, ah! And Jack went, ah! And so did Jacob and Marley, ah! And they ran up the nearest, biggest tree they could find. Like, pretty much just ran all the way up it. And the Ankylosauruses stomped on through and they went, whoa, what is going on? They're in completely the wrong time. Maybe Moonlanding was scared of the Ankylosauruses. Fair enough, they're pretty fearsome. They're clearly in a very bad mood. Well, Aleksander and Kristoffer were just thinking about climbing back down the tree when they noticed something else stomping through the jungle. And they went, what on earth is that? And do you know what it was? It was 10 Spinosauruses. 10. Not 1, not 2, 10 Spinosauruses. Stomp, 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 stomp. Snap, snap, snap. And everyone went, what? Why are the Spinosauruses here? And the Spinosauruses stomped all the way to the nearest river, which is, of course, the River Amazon, which is where Aunty Lisa was super excited to go. And they went, well, that's jolly weird. And then they realised why the Spinosauruses and the Ankylosauruses had been so distraught and crazed. Stomp, stomp, stomp. They heard the biggest stomp they could possibly hear. It could only be one thing. It was a T-Rex! In fact, it was a whole T-Rex family. A mummy T-Rex, a daddy T-Rex, and 2 baby T-Rexes. Stomp, 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 stomp. And they were wandering through the jungle, looking for something to gobble up. Aunty Lisa and everybody sat in the tree and prayed that they weren't going to be on today's menu. Well, maybe that was actually what Moonlanding the ghost had been so scared of and had tried to scare everyone away from. And they thought, okay, this is all super crazy weird. We need to figure out where these dinosaurs have come from and send them back. They're in the wrong time. It's all gone wrong. So, they called up Andy. Don't know why they did it in an American accent, but they called up Andy. Aleksander and Kristoffer called Andy. And they went, hey, Andy. And Andy went, you guys, it's 4 a.m. here. And they went, oh, sorry, Andy. We got our time zones wrong again. You haven't been to the jungle and let loose a whole bunch of dinosaurs, have you? And Andy went, no, not since the last time. No, not me. Why? What's happened? And they explained about all the Ankylosauruses and all the Spinosauruses and the T-Rexes. And Andy went, oh, that's bad. No, that's not me. Don't know what you're going to do about that. And they said, oh, nor do we, Andy. Nor do we. Not yet, anyway. We'll figure it out. Don't you worry, Andy. Okay, bye-bye. So they called up Owen next. Of course, who else? They called up Owen. And they said, hey, Owen! And Owen went, why do you always call me in the middle of my naps? What's wrong, Aleksander and Kristoffer? What do you need? And they explained about all the Ankylosauruses and the Spinosauruses and the T-Rexes. And then Owen went, OMG. I thought one day this would happen. I think someone stole some embryos from Jurassic World this year and they must have started up their own Jurassic Park in the Amazon rainforest. This is a disaster for the ecosystem there. They'll eat all the sloths, all of them. And Aunty Lisa went, no, not the sloths. Don't, why? Owen said, right, we're going to have to track down all of those dinosaurs and bring them to Jurassic World and shut down this illegal dinosaur park. I will be with you as quickly as a super speedy person can get there. And everyone went, okay, make it super snappy because currently we're up a tree. And I went, I'll bring some help. And they said, okay. Well, luckily, the T-Rex had gone off following the Ankylosauruses and the Spinosauruses. And they were all playing in the river. By playing, I mean the T-Rex was trying to eat them. And the Spinosaurus was trying to swim away. And the Ankylosaurus was trying to whack the T-Rex with his special Ankylosaurus tail. And the T-Rexes were like, we're going to eat you. And the Ankylosaurus was like, no, you're not. You're not going to eat us. Whack. And the Spinosaurus was like, I'm going to catch some fish. Spinosaurus was actually pretty chill and pretty happy in the Amazon River. But, of course, if you let these great big creatures out in the Amazon rainforest, they're going to eat all the little creatures. And then the Amazon rainforest won't be as cool a place as it once was. So, something needed to be done. Now, luckily, as we know, Owen, bit of a legend, and he arrived the very next day in helicopters. Not just one, but like loads of helicopters with loads of cool people. And he brought Blue, the velociraptor. Why, I hear you crying, did he bring another predator to stay in the Amazon jungle? Well, I'll explain. So, he arrived late in the evening when Moonlanding, the ghost, had reappeared. And Moonlanding was like, did you see? Did you see? The dinosaurs are here. I told you, it's too scary to be here. It's too scary. You're all going to get eaten. I've been trying to scare people away from here. And Jacob and Marley said, well, we appreciate you trying to scare us away, but we're going to try and get these dinosaurs moved on so that we can all live here happily. And Moonlanding went, oh, that's a great idea. That's actually better than my idea of scaring you away in the first place. So, then, Owen landed in his helicopter with Blue and he explained his cunning and ingenious plan. He said, what we've got to do, I'm going to use Blue to round up the dinosaurs. And then I brought these ginormous dinosaur cages. And we're going to trap them in the ginormous dinosaur cages. And then I'm going to take them back to Jurassic World, where they belong. Because they were our embryos, darn it. Well, they started rounding up the Ankylosauruses first. And Blue, with Andy, not Andy on his back. Andy not going to ride Blue. Owen on his back were like, giddy up, giddy up. And the Ankylosauruses were like, ah! And they were actually quite easy to round up. Andy rounded them all, not Andy, Owen rounded them all up. And Aleksander and Kristoffer were like, yay! And they got the cage ready. And Aleksander and Kristoffer opened the cage door. And Owen shooed all the dinosaurs in. And Aleksander and Kristoffer went, pew! And shut the cage door super fast. And the Ankylosauruses were inside the cage going, no, no! We've been caught. Bash, bash, bash. And whacked it. But it was a solid cage. They were like, whew. So, a helicopter took off with all the Ankylosauruses in a cage dangling from underneath and started flying back to Jurassic World. And everyone went, bye, to the Ankylosauruses. Job number 1, done. Next up was the Spinosauruses. Now, by this point, something a bit scary had happened, which was the owners of, well, the people who'd set up this illegal dinosaur park had realised what was going on. They'd seen the helicopter flying away with their Ankylosauruses, and they were mad. And they came down in their Jeep, and they were like, hey, you! What are you doing? You're ruining our dinosaur park! And Owen said, "You stole these dinosaurs from us." And Alexander and Kristoffer went, "Yeah." And Jack went, "Yeah, what he said." And Aunty Lisa went, "Yeah, that's right." And so did the other two guys whose name I forgot, Jacob and Marley. And then the mean guys were like, "No, you can't have them. We have got guns. And it's not sleepy darts." And everyone went, "Ooh, this just got a lot more serious." And Aunty Lisa said, "Right, okay, there's no need for anyone to get crazy and start firing guns. Okay?" Well, these guys were super mean criminals. And they did not care. And they shot a gun into the air. And everyone went, "Aah!" And they said, "We're really mean. You've got to leave this place now. You're going to get it." And everyone went, "No, we don't want to get shot. This is bad news, bad news, bad news." Well, as it happened, Moonlanding was listening in. And he did not like the look of these guys. These were the mean guys who brought dinosaurs to the Amazon jungle where they did not belong. And he was starting to hatch a plan. And he said, "Okay, I know what I'm going to do." And the mean guys said, "Right, everybody, you lot, get in the cages." And everyone went, "We don't want to get in the cage, actually." And the mean guy said, "No, you've got to. You trying to steal our dinosaurs? We're going to put you in a cage." And they went, "Oh no, this is terrible." And they started heading towards the cage. Everyone was like, "Oh no." But then Moonlanding snuck up behind the mean guys. And he went, "Wah!" And the mean guys went, "Ah!" And passed out onto the floor. They were terrified. And everybody went, "Hooray!" And they put the mean guys in handcuffs and put them in the back of one of the helicopters ready to go to jail. So, that was the mean guys sorted out. Clearing up the Spinosauruses was not a problem. They were terrified of Blue the Velociraptor. So, Owen rounded them all up. And Alexander and Kristoffer quickly opened the cage. Another cage, separate cage. They all shuffled in. Shut the cage again. Spinosauruses, done. Helicopter took off, took them away. Sorted. There was only one more challenge. It was the biggest challenge yet. The T-Rex family. The T-Rex family were proper happy in the jungle. They had eaten a sloth and they had a go at catching an Amazon river dolphin, and they had been catching other things that live in the jungle, like leopards. I think they live in that part. Oh, pumas, jaguars, very similar, big cats, very endangered, shouldn't eat them. All sorts of creatures were getting gobbled up by the T-Rexes. They were having the best time ever. And everyone was like, "No, those T-Rexes, how are we going to catch the T-Rexes? They're not scared of Blue the Velociraptor, are they?" So, they needed to hatch a super cool plan. Well, Alexander and Kristoffer had a big think. And they said, "I've got an idea." They both had the same genius idea at precisely the same time. And they explained it to everybody. And everyone went, "Oh, it might just work." So, what they did was this. They created a T-Rex trap. Smart. They found a big ledge. There was a big, cliff edge in the jungle. Sometimes you have that. It can happen. And they put a cage at the bottom of the big ledge in the jungle. Right? Wait for it. And created a slippy slope, like a slide, okay, down towards the cage. And the T-Rexes were up here in the jungle. And Alexander and Kristoffer said, "Right, what we've got to do, we've got to lure them to this slippy slope. And then they'll all fall into the cage and we can shut the door." And Aunty Lisa said, "But how are we going to lure them?" what are we going to do? I mean, we don't want to really feed them any more animals. And Aleksander and Kristoffer went, we have a plan. And Aunty Lisa went, I don't like the sound of this. And they did this. Na, 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 you can't catch us. To the TRexes, Aunty Lisa nearly lost the plot. She was like, what are you doing, you crazy boys? You can't tease a T-Rex. That's just, what would your mother say? Anyway, they've done it now. So, the T-Rex is like, Aleksander and Kristoffer started running. And at that point, Aunty Lisa also started running. And Jack started running. And everybody started running. And the T-Rex started chasing. And then, Aleksander and Kristoffer did this. They got to the edge of the ledge. And you know what they had there? They had great big vine, like strings of vines, you know? Like a big vine, anyway, was dangling down from a big branch. And the T-Rex was like, chasing Aleksander and Kristoffer. Everyone else was like, ah! Anyway, and they got to the vines, and they grabbed hold of the vines, and they went, ah! They swung away from the T-Rexes at great speed. Everybody else copied them because they didn't want to get eaten either. To be fair, we would have liked to have had some heads up about this plan. But anyway, that's what happened. They all swung out. And then the T-Rexes ran after them and went, huh? Because they had nothing under their feet anymore. And they slid down the slide, down straight into the cages, which went dunk, 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 and shut. And the T-Rexes were trapped. Hooray! Everyone was left dangling on their vines like, how do we get off this thing? Oh no. But eventually they all managed to climb back down. And then Owen and his crew flew off with the T-Rexes safely in the cages and took them back to Jurassic World and handed over the criminals who'd started an illegal dinosaur park to the police. And the police put them in jail. And then everybody else had a big party in the Amazon rainforest with lots of drumming, which I can't do. But anyway, lots of drumming and lots of singing and lots of food. And Moonlanding the ghost decided that he would hang out there with Jacob and Marley and help them by scaring off any wild creatures that wanted to eat them, like those big cats I'd mentioned earlier. And everyone was so pleased that they managed to stop the illegal dinosaur park in the Amazon rainforest that they all said, let's always visit the rainforest and love it forever. And let's always drink tea and eat cake. And so that's what they did. And that is the end of the story. Love you. Night night.